interview with the winners.
Thanks, Freak, and don't worry, I got your back. It's been 17 minutes and 30 seconds from the last kill to the end of the game. Now, I want to welcome two guys to the desk who had a very good day on the Rift, Quas and Dominate. Congratulations, first of all, on 2 victories. That puts you to 2-1 on Super Week, on what some people would argue is the toughest schedule, playing 4 of the top 5 teams. How does that feel, Quas?
Yeah, we knew it was a really tough schedule for this weekend. So we're just prepared to play our game, focused every single game, and it's going well so far. And we still have stuff to work on, but it's going better than usual, I guess.
And just to follow up with you, Dominate, what does that do momentum-wise for a team when you are performing so well against tough teams in a Super Week?
It definitely makes us feel like we can pull out the 3-1 for Super Week, and really the whole goal is getting into that playoff spot and trying to perform well in playoffs because that's where everything's on the line. So we're just really looking forward towards that.
All right, and now we're going to go back into the game. Champion select here. Dominate. You guys ended up banning the Kayle versus Cloud9, who typically do blue side ban, and Balls played Kayle for the first time yesterday and didn't have a good performance on that. What was the reasoning behind banning Kayle against Cloud9?
We just wanted to ban Kayle against Cloud9 because it's one of the only OPs left at that point. There's really nothing else up that they could pick that could win the game, and even though Balls didn't have a particularly good performance on it yesterday, it's still a champion that you have to just fear, and you have to respect intervention. It's just such an overpowered ultimate, and it can really swing the course of a game. And with our last ban, they hadn't banned it so far, so we figured that they might be looking for it for a first pick because they most likely practiced it coming into Super Week, considering that they played it yesterday. So we just thought that it would be a solid ban and just kind of even out all the picks.
And you guys did end up going up against Meteos' Lee Sin, which was 7-1 until today, and now you guys made it 7-2. So you think that could have been a ban instead, but you guys actually took it out.
I personally wanted to play against it coming into the game. I wanted to play Lee Sin to Lee Sin. That was kind of what we discussed, and that's a matchup that I just feel comfortable in, and I like playing that matchup. So we just knew going into it that we wanted them to pick Lee Sin. We thought they would first pick it. We actually wanted, I think, probably the Kog'Maw, but they ended up first picking it. Everyone just knows that Kog'Maw is a super highly contested pick. So they first picked Kog'Maw, and we just went with Elise so that I could get that matchup.
All right, further on in Champ Select, we saw Balls pull out the Renekton, and then you quickly responded with the Jax pick. Is that just because you're comfortable in that matchup, or what's the reasoning behind that?
I'm not that comfortable in the matchup, but it's the reason that we knew we could have pressured top. So Dom helped me a lot in top lane. He made sure that Renekton couldn't freeze in front of his turret. So we shoved the waves out and make sure I keep going my farms because Renekton can't really stop the Jax 1v1 all that easily. It's very mainly influenced through jungle pressure. So we were able to pressure it earlier on, and then I was able to farm and then outscale him.
All right, well, kind of trailing off of that, Dom, having a top laner playing Jax, who's doing very well in that Renekton matchup, what does that do for the team in terms of map pressure and control when he's going even pre-6?
It just really means that you're going to have a split push pressure all game. You're going to have that TP advantage because once Jax gets to that point, Renekton can't hold in 1v1. So you couldn't really see it in the mid game because I don't think we were exactly sieging the right places. But in the late game, you could really tell that Renekton could not hold the Jax. The Jax can walk up to the turret, start autoing the turret in front of the Jax, or in front of the Renekton, and the Renekton can't do anything about it. He can literally just has to have someone else come and help him with it. So they kept on having to send Orianna and Kog'Maw just to try to aid that Renekton in defending against this Jax. So you just have a lot of TP pressure at that point. We got a couple free Barons because we had so much pressure on the bot side of the map. They needed to respond to that, and if they tried to contest the Baron, they would have just ended up losing an inhibitor.
All right, and you talked about how Jax just walks up to the turret, starts slamming on it. We're actually going to get a replay here. Quas, this feeling isn't unfamiliar to you, where you just walk up to the turret as a big beast and you start smacking on it while somebody else is trying to take you down. Describe to me while this replay rolls what it feels like to just be that powerful in the game.
Okay. So I started in the turret. I noticed the Renekton tries to tickle me here, so I ignored it completely. I just actually I'm getting chunked. What am I talking about? I tanked the other turret, which I shouldn't have, but I still keep pressure up. He can't do anything at this point. They have to move people towards me. So I use my E here, and I just wait for the next wave to come in, and just keep dwelling on the turret. He can't do anything right now. It's just how it goes. Jack late game is fear for a reason. This is the reason.
And Dominate, off the back of that, what is it like watching your teammate just do that and be this big beast, this baby that you raised? You're like, oh, I cleared some waves from him. Now he's all grown up, beating Nexus turrets.
Yeah, well, I wasn't actually looking at what he was doing because I didn't want to have another incident like yesterday where I just wasn't watching my champion and ended up dying like the dumbest way possible. So we're just pretty much communicating, oh, I'm getting this turret, and then I'm just trying to call when the Kog'Maw and the Orianna are rotating to him so that he doesn't get 2v1 and killed.
One last thing that I want to talk about, specifically about this game, is the fact that it was relatively low kill. Right? It was 2 to 4 at the end of the game. What does that do to the speed of a game or the way that you want to play it? And what was the problem with finding fights that you wanted?
I would say that we knew we had everything going for us. We knew we had split push pressure. We knew they had better late game. So we knew that the only reason we could lose that game is if they get a really good shockwave and then they follow up with that and like clean us up. So we didn't want to take any risk. Maybe we played a little bit more passive than we should have, but we just played like textbook split push style and it worked out for us. We don't need kills to win the game. We just have to destroy the Nexus.
Yeah, you guys were about 20,000 gold up. Why did it take so long to close this game out?
Like I said, we just knew we had like everything going for us, so we just played as safe as possible and just took all the buffs we could, made sure we were 6 items, and then just like slowly waiting for all the minions to come in and just ended the game.
All right, final question. You guys play CLG tomorrow. They're tied for first currently, so it's definitely a tough matchup. What are you looking to do tomorrow to make sure you come out with the win? Dominate?
I think we're just going to go with our game plan, stick with the champions that we practice. We haven't shown them all, but just pretty much go with our strategy coming into Super Week. All the teams were really tough, and all of them have similarities. So we've kind of just prepped for every team, and it's going well so far, so I don't think we should change anything.
Okay. Well, it seems to be working for you so far. Thanks for joining us on the desk, and best of luck tomorrow in your game.
All right, thank you.
All right, we've got to flash away, but when we come back, we'll kick off our final LCS game of the day, CLG versus LMQ. The action continues after this.